What's up, guys? It's Austin here. I'm gonna do a little video. I'm gonna talk about some of the jobs that I think were really cool that have came in since the last video. So we've done a ladder racks has been a really common one. It's funny how you don't you get in these little niches, right? So I've had pole barn contractors are like a huge thing around here, and I think I've had 3 of them in the last 2 weeks contact me and need ladder racks built. They've either been stainless steel or aluminum. Honestly, I like the stainless steel ones better just because I like welding stainless steel better. I'm more set up to do it. The only TIG welder I have is the Lincoln Square Wave TIG 200 sitting behind me, which it does really good, but when it's plugged into 220 I can get 125 amps. And anyone out there who knows about welding aluminum, you don't just turn up to 125 amps and start welding 1/4 inch aluminum. Aluminum takes much more heat. Really, that should be like, I think up around 200, maybe even 210 amps to weld 1/4 inch aluminum. Just regular straight argon TIG welding it. What I did was I got 220 and I preheated the aluminum. I brought it up to about 500 degrees. That way I wasn't sitting waiting for that molten petal to move as much, and I could get it, establish a puddle, and just dab. What sucked was I had to preheat every single joint before I could weld it, and you can't just go around and weld or preheat all the joints and then go around and weld them. The weld that you either start or end with will have been cooled down. So it's take a joint, preheat it, weld it, move to the next joint. It was just a lot of back and forth, and it took me a lot longer than I thought. Now I know. Another good trick is if you can put, I want to say it's 10% helium into the mix. That helps things penetrate, and that will also help with aluminum. Couple of tips for the day. So we've done an aluminum ladder rack for a pickup. We did a stainless steel ladder rack for a enclosed trailer. I think it was a 16 or an 18 foot. We did 4 cross braces on the top, and they came down the front. You could store a couple ladders, and then there were side ones. We did those. Other things we've done is like there's a cast iron vise cooling in a bucket of sand right now. That was kind of a cool job. I'm hoping it holds up really well. I've had decent luck with cast iron, but it's really one of them things that you gotta play around with for a while, and it's one of those things you just can't cut corners. You have to clean it, preheat it, weld it, and cool it very disciplinedly. You know, you can't, there's no skipping the cleaning or skipping the preheating. And even if you do all that right, at least in my experience, it's not always a guarantee that it will hold. Usually on that kind of thing, I tell everyone, it's hard for me to guarantee, especially with cast metals. Guys out there who have done it more might know more, but from my experience level, I can't guarantee cast metal will always hold. I will weld it once. You can obviously pay me, and if like something happens and it breaks again or cracks within a few weeks, we'll weld it again. If it happens again, you really need to look at just replacing that part, because the metal's just worn or it doesn't want to weld. Having said that, I've done probably at least a couple dozen cast iron jobs, and all of them have held up pretty good. This one is actually from my brother's drill press, and it broke on him, and the only thing I had there was flux core. So no cleaning, no preheating or anything. I just clamped it shut and I welded it, and while it was on the drill press, so there was only like maybe 2 little tack welds I could put on, and it did hold up for like 2 weeks. It made it through the job we were working on, which was a backblade. We've done a couple flatbeds for bigger jobs. Food processing plants have contacted me, and like their company trucks We put a flatbed on it. That turned out really, really well. They liked it. We did have one little problem with that job, but it ended up being a really easy fix. It was a newer truck, and they have this, and I'm not a mechanic, but instead of just having like a vent tube on the gas tank, there is a solenoid that opens it up to vent. So they took it had a full tank of gas when they took it, and then they couldn't get it to pump gas, so I sweated that one until I got that one figured out. I sweated that until I got figured out. They had ran the tank almost empty, so they were sweating it too because they needed the truck every day and it couldn't get gas in it. It ended up being a really simple fix. They had to replace the solenoid. No big deal. Farm repair, I was just out at a farmer's house, which those are the ones I really like doing, because I grew up on a farm, so I know a bit about that kind of equipment, and it was just jobs like putting back on the hitch on a couple implements, or reinforcing buckets on loaders, and just all that stuff. But I don't know, I really like that. I enjoy the people most of the time. They're kind of my favorite job. We've got to go to a couple cool places. I've went to a few like farm implement manufacturing companies and kind of got to walk around and see what they've done. Again, really, really cool. I didn't video any of it because it was kind of spare of the moment. I was working on something and it was a skid steer and it needed a hydraulic line. I called the guy, said, hey, I'm out here. I noticed you got a bad hydraulic line on this thing. And he said, oh, well, if you want to, just run up the road to this place, because he was out working, and replace it, and you know, I'll reimburse you and pay you for your time. So okay, so on my lunch break I took it down and I was just telling them what I was, who I was, what I did, and they said, oh, that's kind of how we started. You want a tour of the place of what we are now? And they gave me a little tour and it was awesome. Custom carrot pickers is their big one. Pretty cool. I explained to you how they work, but they weren't really going to give me that information in detail of how to build them anyways. Lots of cool things. There are a couple of hopefully good, decent sized jobs coming down the pipe. One of them would be winter's coming, and I think I'm going to build a back blade to probably sell this year. I've kind of been scraping together some steel. Like when I make a steel order, you know, I'll order like one extra piece each time just to kind of break up the expense of it. I'll make it to sell, but if it doesn't, we'll have it for the Super Duty, because I don't think I've done any videos on it, but in the wintertime when things are slow, I'll go out and plow snow. The reason being is I have a 3/4 ton pickup that I bought and I put money into for it to make me money, so when it can't make me money welding, I'm not opposed to hauling stuff or plowing snow. That way my equipment makes me money all the time. That's kind of the thing. Landing gears on a couple of log trailers, we've done that. We made some brackets for some timber frame additions that some Amish were doing. A lot of cool stuff. I don't know how much of it I have pictures of, but I will try to add. Anyways guys, I just kind of wanted to make a video, so I've got some content that can go up. Let me know how your guys' summers went. I know there's a couple of you guys who were had your weld test scheduled. I don't know if you weren't able to take it because of COVID, or you know, I haven't heard any of the results, so hopefully those went good for you. Guys, like my videos if you like, share them, subscribe, tell your friends. I really want to grow this channel. Today is just kind of like oddball. I wanted to make a few videos just to try to bring everyone up to date, and then I want to start making videos to date of some things coming. Do got some pretty good sized things coming down the pipeline, at least it looks like, including one of them I'll show you is my welding table. This thing has set pretty much, it's covered in stuff now. I'm gonna walk around to the other side so you can see it better. This thing's pretty much just stopped. It's got temporary legs on it. These are actually cutouts to make the fresh legs. They're gonna be L'd, and then I've been saving up money to buy, I want to buy a 3/8 plate, a 5x10, lay it over it, weld it, and then take some 1/4" material. The inspiration comes from like the Certiflat welding tables. Some of them are like as small as 1/8 inch, but they have bracing on the bottoms. So I want to take some 1/4", like 1/4" by 2" flat stock, and I want to go this way with it in all of these pockets, I'll call them, and then maybe one going through it, so that there's only like this much room for it to warp. And then with 3/8 is what I'm looking for. I don't want to go 1/4, but at least 3/8. And then I want to get a mag drill and drill just a bunch of holes and make my own clamps, because as most of you know, our 2020 projection is to have a working shop, and every working shop needs a good fab table. I want to get this, and then I've been researching a lot, people's homemade brakes and writing down ideas. And then maybe buy a little shear, maybe a little 4 or 5 foot shear, and then we can make a lot. I want to have this, but my wife thinks before the shear we should get a plasma table, which I almost agree with her. It'd be a little bit more money, but a plasma table could definitely, you know, make all of our cuts and do some more custom things instead of me freehanding it with the torches. So that's just some stuff that we've done this summer. Kind of bring everyone current, and then maybe a little insight to some of our future plans. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and watching me and just supporting me. It's an incredible journey, guys. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Tell your friends, your family, anyone you know who's interested in welding. Maybe they want to know maybe a little more behind the scenes information. Let them know where I'm at. Thank you, guys. I'll see you on the next video.